Hello, students. This is Dr. Zia Ahmed on live stream for the lecture number 4 for my students of Masters in English. If anyone is online, please go in the comment section, respond to me. If you are listening to me clearly, my video is appearing clearly. Please go ahead and give a comment in the comment section. So, all right, there is Rida Zahra to point out that it's all right. So let's have a start without wasting any more moment. Hello to all the people who join and who would join later on. Today's chapter is chapter number 5 of the book Moth by Hamid. In this chapter, we have 3-4 sections. Number 1 section talks about Murad Badshah. Number 2 talks about the excursion of Mumtaz towards the red light area of Lahore, and after that, some of the things are lightly talked about the family of Moth and Hamid. We shall not be concentrating on Murad Badshah because the next chapter is dedicated to him. And same is the case with the family of Moth and Hamid. That's not that important to be talked about. However, the most important section of the chapter is the visit of Mumtaz toward the red light area, and in company with this Daru or Dara Shizad, that visit is the most important thing, and that we shall be talking about. For this purpose, you need to come on the page. According to my soft book, the page is going to be the chapter started with 45, and I'm going on 49 page, and after that, I am on 50 page where we have the entry of Mumtaz. That entry starts on page 50 according to my book, and you can also reach after 4 or 5 pages of the chapter. Rather, I suggest that we should reach page 51 of the same chapter, and the paragraph is at the end of the page 51. That I shall be starting and discussing with you people, and later on you can put the questions and upload your comments as well. Like for example, first of all, let me read the passage which is here. It says that her mobile, how classy. And now I think these 2 words are sufficient to reach the passage on page 51 of the soft copy of the book. Her mobile, how classy, I think quickly, what can be wrong in going with her? Uzi would want me to help her out. On the other hand, the last thing Uzi probably wants is for his wife to be cruising around Lahore with single men while he's out of town. But my curiosity gets the better of me. I am coming, I say. It's dark outside. None of the street lamps work, and the sharp crescent moon does little to light the night. Mumtaz's car is parked with the engine running. So this is the start of the discussion. Here, the passage that I have read to you people is very significant with respect to the sense that we have a situation in which Uzi, Mumtaz's husband, is out of the town and Mumtaz is all alone. She is ringing the bell outside the door of Daru, and she wants him to come outside, and she rings him on the phone to say that he needs to accompany her in the car. Now, this is a difficult moment for Daru to decide because, after all, Mumtaz is the wife of his friend, and it would not be, according to him, a justified thing that he should be in company with Mumtaz all around the city, going about here and there, without the presence of her husband. That is a little bit of creating annoyance, moral annoyance in the mind of Daru. But still, he decides to go there because he wants to know what is making Mumtaz to come out at this time of the night and go out into the city all alone. She is smoking cigarette also. She is present with a good mobile phone also. And all these things make her very attractive because of the car in which she's riding. And Dara, having no other business to do, having no other activity to do, he ultimately decides that he should go out with her. Now, before going further, we may be analyzing some of the feministic issue as well. How about the woman Mumtaz, that she is capable of coming out of her house at the time of night, and this is something which is different from the women of 2001. But this is Lahore, the mini America as we have been suggesting, and this is Mumtaz, the foreign qualified woman. she's not afraid of any of the things, and that is why she has come outside the time of night. And this goes to show that she's going to be a very different woman as compared to the women in the normal stream. She's upper class woman and she's got the education and she is ready, therefore, to come outside. This is the future visualization of Mohsen Hamid about the appearance of women at the time of night all alone in the company of someone who is just a friend of the husband and trying to enter into that area, which is possibly not that possible for most of the people, not even for male people. It's a woman who's going to enter there. This goes to show the bravery, this goes to show the courage, this goes to show the kind of dexterity with which Mohsen Hamid is presenting this character of woman, that how much modern and courageous she's going to be. She's not afraid, shy in that sense. So it's a powerful women character that we have here in this novel, and that is why it's going to be a very different one. Ultimately, Daru decides to ride with her in the car and he wants to know where she is going at this time of the night. So in order to find out more about this, let us move on to page 52 and then leaving page 52, come on to page 53. And here also, once again, at the page 53, we have the ending passage of the page. It says, I am going to tell you, I have to, I suppose, since I have dragged you out here with no explanation. It's very sweet of you to do this. By the way, her hand touches my knee briefly before turning the gear shift. I have this thing about friends and secrets. Sometimes when I meet a person I tell them a secret they don't know me well enough to be told. It lets me judge their potential as a friend. So this is what she says as soon as she sits in the as Daru sits with her in the car, and she's going to share some of the secrets with him. And while talking so, and while changing the gears of the car, her hand touches the legs of Daru once or twice, and this is not embarrassing for her. This is not a kind of thing with which she should be feeling very sad and upset. It doesn't happen at all. And she rather feels this kind of normal and common thing. She doesn't give importance to these bodily touches. And perhaps her will may be present there, but she doesn't make Daru realize that this was something really she was doing with intention. So that is why there's a new dimension to this character, given that she's so much brave and she's so much confident that a touch, if accidentally it has taken place, is not going to create any type of trouble. And rather, she declares that Daru is going to be a friend, and that is why she will be sharing some of the secrets with him as well. It means that Mumtaz does have her secrets, and she is living with these secrets, and she would like to share these secrets with someone who is very close to her and who can be trustworthy as well. And at this moment, Daru is definitely the person who is really a friend and trustworthy, and that is why some kind of sharing is also going to take place with him. With this tone, let us enter into the page 54, the next page, and on the next page we have in the beginning one passage that we need to read. It says like that: she accepts the cigarette with a nod. You should be. We speed through the jail pass, but let me tell you what I think about secrets before you decide. If you want me to tell you one, secrets make life more interesting. You can be in the crowded room with someone and touch them without touching, just with a look, because they know a part of you on one else knows, no one else knows, and whatever or whenever you are with them, the two of you are alone because the you they see no one else can see. The power of secrecy, or the entertainment of secrecy, the joy of secrecy, that is being talked about by these two characters and shared with each other. For example, this passage is letting us know that if someone is having some secret relationship, some secret understanding with a person, it gives a special type of joy, because when you are in a company and at that time the person comes, enters, and a secret message, a silent message is delivered through the eyes, because you know each other, you share the secret nobody else knows, and as a result, you feel pleased and happy, and this creates a type of feeling of happiness in the mind of both the people, because what you know nobody else knows. So that is the way the secret is shared by the people who are knowing each other, the secret which they cannot share openly in the public or in the social life. Now this goes to lend a type of color of romance, that there is a secret thing to be hidden or kept. That this is also one of the important aspects of the social life of a poor or a very rich class, that they do have their secrets and they are living with these secrets. These secrets may be of trouble, of problem, of fear for some of the people, but most of the time it is a type of enjoyable thing. And perhaps people want to have some thrill, some type of entertainment, some type of joy, and that is why perhaps they do have these types of secrets as well, which Mumtaz and Dar were developing. So one of the secrets which on the same page will be talked about is the journalist who is discussed in chapter 4 also, That journalist is Zulfikar Manto, and the interview is also recorded in the same chapter. But here, the secret is being revealed that this Zulfikar Manto is no other journalist than Mumtaz herself. So this is the pen name of Mumtaz Zulfikar Manto, which she is using in order to write her articles. Now, this reverberates here the memory of one writer, which is Marian Evans, George Eliot, who also used the male name in order to hide her identity. So far, we can also say that Pakistani society, though it has advanced much in Lahore, but it's not that much advanced, because of which, and a woman may be using her name in order to become a very famous journalist, she too still have to take care of the male name. So that is the struggle of the women, that is the cover of the men, that is needed by the women in every case. So that is why one of the objective that can be important for our paper, who is Zulfikar Manto, it's going to be Mumtaz herself. That's also revealed. But it also shows to us that Mumtaz is a person who is a journalist, who wants to write, who wants to write some sensational articles in order to explore first of all, and then to unfold some of the secrets of society. So in this way, secrets become very important thing, and she's going with Daru also in order to unfold one of the secrets of the people, how they are living and what they are living. Let us see, enter into the next page, and there also we have the kind of echo of Zulfikar Manto, and she laughs and says that it is she herself. Coming to the page 56, we have one more passage on page 56. I think every student is following. Perhaps your book may be a little bit different, but when I speak the paragraph, you people can reach the passage very easily. Here, for example, the passage is at the end of page 56 of my soft book. It says, "This is turning into a very strange night, but I am enjoying myself. I like the way Mumtaz drives with a sort of controlled aggression. Actually, she drives the way I like to think I drive. I direct her, glad she never asks how I know where Hira Mandi is, and point out the sights along our way like a true guide. That's Town Hall. Take a right here on the Lower Mall Road. That's Government College to right. Take a left. That's Data Darbar. You should check it out sometime. This is Circular Road, see Badshah Mosque, Minar Pakistan, and behind it. Okay, slow down, take a ride. This used to be a gate, now we are in the old city." This passage is more concerned about the locations of Lahore. And the writer in this way very cleverly tries to point out the setting, space setting of the novel, where the story is being enacted, and where right now the protagonists are present. Mumtaz and Dara are present. She's driving the car, and some of the places have been named here: the Lower Mall Road, Data Darbar, Government College, Circular Road, and everything like that, and ultimately the old city of Lahore. So the tale is unfolding in both the parts of the city, that maybe the new part of the Lahore, or post-colonial Lahore, and the Lahore which was present at the time when colonialism was there. By the way, my students, if they like, they can read my article, Post-Colonial Lahore. If they Google it, they will be able to find somewhere published in the Word in some Y category journal. They can read that in order to strengthen their point of view, how Lahore is presented in Bapsi Sidhwa's novel, and then this novel as well. That article is also inclusive of this novel and the space setting that have been provided here. But more so, the driving style of Mumtaz is being pointed out, that she drives in a very good way, that she doesn't drive like Uzi, who can kill a boy on the road, but this woman drives very safely, and Daru says that he would also like to drive in the same way. So all details are provided. However, we have something about Mumtaz, that she is going to Hira Mandi, or the diamond market. This is something very dangerous to be talked about at that level, but it's quite common with the upper class. They can go to any other place, they can find out the things which are available in their city around them, they can explore and discover as well. And that is used by Mohsen Hamid in order to point out to something which is happening in the society very blatantly. Rather, it is happening and nobody's paying the attention. Mohsen Hamid is the writer who would like to expose this darker side of the society also. Although Lahore is very progressive, very educated, or Lahore is going to be very modern as well, but the element of this Hira Mandi, the element of these prostitutes, and the element of these people, to describe them, to talk about them, to discuss, is the very courage Mohsen Hamid has shown. And he is making a woman lead into that area. That's even more courageous, and that's what the novel becomes very important, because of this discussion on the prostitutes and on the Hira Mandi market and on visiting of a woman on that area. So this is going to be quite significant with respect to that. We can also talk about the character of this woman Mumtaz, who's going to be very bold, very courageous, and that is the kind of revolutionary woman who can enter into such discussions and into such spaces as well, where she very boldly may be meeting. Commonly, a woman would not like to go there in such places because people would say that, okay, that woman is of bad character and she's not going to be a good one. But Mumtaz doesn't care about that. So if we, on the one hand, have some of the unacceptable qualities that a common man may be saying unacceptable, but on the other hand, we have certain specific qualities of Mumtaz also. So the students can quote such passages in order to show how much courageous, bold, and the revolutionary character of Mumtaz is going to be, and that makes this novel also a type of feministic voice, the voice of those people who are voiceless people. For example, when we will enter into the story further, we shall find that the women living in those prostitute areas are not represented, their voice is not listened. Mumtaz becomes the voice of these people by writing an article. So it's like voicing the subaltern. You people can also, my students, you can also read one of the articles published in Daily Dawn by me. That article was also on voicing the subaltern. This can further strengthen your studies about this chapter where we have this type of visit of Mumtaz to that red light area. Leave these pages of 57 and come to page 58, and very small passage we have here, which is rather about this Mohsen Hamid's hero, Daru, that how he should be behaving in that area when Mumtaz has reached there. For example, in the middle of the page, a small passage is there. Before I know it, Mumtaz is running off with the giant pimp into some back alley in Hira Mandi, and I'm sitting alone in her car. I am such an idiot for doing this. What will I tell Uzi if anything happens to her? And Mumtaz says she isn't gone for long, but I'm already imagining an elaborate rescue scenario. When she reappears, you can come, she says, but only if you promise not to do anything macho. This word macho goes to show that Mumtaz is expecting from Daru that he can become macho at any moment. He can become a show of his power at any moment. He can show his muscular power at any moment when he will see that Mumtaz is in difficulty. And she says that Daru can come, but he has to behave like a very simple, very innocent person instead of trying to box someone or trying to hit someone. So that's the kind of promise she takes. And this is the very word macho which is used by most of the women in order to describe a man who would like to prove his power through his muscles, and this is the word used by them. And this first step of civilization that a woman would want in her hero, in her companion, by saying that he has not to be a macho. And I think my boys who are listening to me right now may be imagining that they can be good in the eye of a woman by not becoming a macho or by becoming a macho. The decision is theirs, but the word macho is going to be very important in this regard. I'm looking at the comment section as well, but I will be talking about these comments only at the end of the passage. Let's go to next page. This is 58 page of the same chapter. We shall not be talking about 58 page. We shall be talking about 60, page number 60 now. Page number 60 of the soft copy. Reach it quickly. And here we have a name, Dilaram. Dilaram or Dilaram, the word can be read. When you speak in Hindi, it could be Dilaram, but as the prostitute house is in Lahore, so we need to pronounce it in very Pakistani-ness or in Lahorian type of style, where the word would be Dilaram. Dil Aram. I mean, comfortable heart. This is the name of the prostitute to whom Mumtaz has gone in order to, get an interview. So the passage is very small here on this page 60 in the middle. It says, Dilaram laughs solidly, her body rippling. It's quite a funny story, really. I was a pretty girl, like this one here. She smiles at our adolescent tea server, only younger. The landlord of our area asked me to come to his house. I refused, so he threatened to kill my family. When I went, he raped me. So that is the start of the story of Dilaram, who is a prostitute, a mature prostitute who's running a brothel house rather now, and she's the captain or she's the owner of that prostitute house. This is the start of that story. Some of the more passages may be added into that. On page 61, for example, Dilaram chuckles. He brought me to Hiramandi and made me have sex with men until he had his 50 rupees. The ending passage of page 61 also is there. That should be connected with that. No, he told me the villagers would not accept me back because I had lost my honor. I believed him. The others knew stories of the girls who had returned to their families and were killed by their fathers or their brothers. So I stayed on. I worked for many years until I was no longer young and had few clients. But then the man had grown old. He needed my help to run this place. Once it was clear to the girls and the clients that I was in charge. He died. Some people said I poisoned him. She laughs silently, shuddering. So that's the story of, Dilaram. And that story is a usual casual type of story that most of the prostitutes would relate, that they were forcefully raped by one powerful man, and ultimately they were conveyed to this brothel house. This story, up to some extent, resembles the story of Shanta in Ice Candy Man, who was also abducted from her home and she was put into brothel, and that's why she could seek this type of justification. And most of the time, the same would be the story in movies and everywhere. Same as the story told by this Dilaram as well, that she was raped by a very powerful landlord and ultimately gave her to the friend in Lahore, and that friend brought her to Lahore. He wanted to get his money with which he had purchased her, and so he made her have sex with the men in Hiramandi, and ultimately she continued to earn some of the money because she had nothing to go back. And when she was free, even at that time, she couldn't go back because she was told that the people at the village will not accept her and she will have to stay there. So that is the darker side of our society, because you see, if a woman is raped, she becomes unacceptable in the society, and as a result, only refuge which she can get is the refuge of these brothel houses or prostitute houses. That is something unacceptable. The society needs to make reforms. Why would such women stay into the business of this type all the way along their life? Why they cannot be rehabilitated back into their normal lives? And this is the very problem indicated by Mohsen Hamid, that many of the prostitutes are not the prostitute by will. They have become the prostitute because society has refused to accept. So we need to revise our standards. Such women can also be the sister of someone or the daughter of someone. Why these should be extradited from the society? As it is their fault, we think that it's their fault that they have been raped, because it's not their fault. It is the macho-ness of a man who has tried to prove his power on a woman, and that is why she has been raped. And the treatment is not to put them into brothel. Treatment is to treat the sick minds who cause the woman become so. So that is why very important feministic aspect has been highlighted here in the shape of Dilaram, in telling the story of Dilaram. So Mohsen Hamid has touched the darker side of Lahore, where such girls are found, who have been raped, first of all, who have been misused, and secondly, thirdly, they have been put into that place to live forever on the pretext that their house, their family will not accept them. So that is the kind of instruction by the writer, that if you are there, you may be able to behave in an educational way, in a very civilized way, to rehabilitate such women instead of extraditing from the society. The story of Dilaram therefore becomes a very important story in whole of the novel. This story can also be the story of common people of Lahore and the rich people of Lahore. Mumtaz is also doing almost similar type of action, that if she can have friendship with the man who's the friend of her husband, and if she can travel alone, if she can go to explore everything like that in the prostitute house, she is not to be blamed, because she's powerful, she's rich. And the poor people, if they do some kind of things like that, they may be immediately blamed, they become unacceptable. Mumtaz will remain acceptable all her life, whatever she's doing, but Dil Aram was unacceptable in the society because she was poor, because she was not that powerful. So the key is that women may be empowered, but then women also need to be careful, and they need to be in such a style of life that they may be useful for the men, they may be useful companions and friends of their men, rather than becoming the person who is an avenger. So being an avenger will not reform the society. Only cooperation can reform the society on both the sides. Men are to be sensitized, women are to be empowered. That is the only kind of lesson we can have out of this text of Mohsen Hamid. So in that way, the text continues, and the discussion after meeting this Dilaram between these two people, Daru and Mumtaz, also continues. And in order to wrap this discussion, let me make you read the 62-page paragraph. In the end of 62 page, we have two small paragraphs which can be read as follows. She passes the cigarette and we share it, each taking a few drags before passing it back. Soon we are back in the new Muslim town near my house. I want to touch her to make some connection before she drops off, and I am all alone again, but she does it for me. She pulls up to my gate and stops, then she turns and kisses me on the cheek, her hand curling around the back of my head, touching my neck and my hair. We stay like that for a moment, and I don't move, my arms at my sides, afraid of doing anything to make her leave. But she leans away from me and smiles, and I have to get out. We don't say goodbye. Now, this is the passage that also once again goes to show that Daru is after all a man, and Mumtaz is also after all a woman. So even if Daru is the friend of Uzi, he does have a desire that this woman who has traveled with him for a long time in the city of Lahore, the darkness of night, she may be able to show some connection, or he may be able to show some secret connection with her, and that is why perhaps he wanted her to kiss, or she was expected to kiss him. That happens only for a moment, and after that, only air kisses are available, and after that, she leaves. So the romantic touch is also present, and in the last chapter, when Uzi had said that Mumtaz and Daru match very much, and the similar kind of match has taken place here. So the prediction told in that chapter number 3 is becoming true here in chapter number 5, that the bond is established and they may be able to prolong this bond as much as possible. So ultimately, Daru is back in his home, at the same home where he is living, jobless, or possibly having no money as well. He is to stay there for some time, and perhaps in order to kill his time or to get some type of support, he goes to his family home as well, his uncle's home. In the remaining part of the chapter, he tries to seek the job with Mr. Some Butt Sahab, B-U-T-T Butt Sahab. He seeks a job, but is unable to secure that job. So joblessness, emptiness, and having nothing in his pocket, that's also important. And ultimately, he goes to have a dinner and lunch with his family in the home of an uncle whose name is here as Fatty Chacha. Fatty Chacha's home contains many people of his family, but there's a grandmom as well, and that grandmom is up to some extent the matriarch of the family because everybody is obeying. The family game of these people, of Daru and his family, his Chacha, his uncle, and other people have been pointed out also that these people were very expert boxers and they played the boxing games as well. So the youngers are still learning the boxing, and among them, one man whose name is Jamal, he's an adopted person in the whole of the family, he's adopted one. So some of the objective is also solved here. The game, what was the game? It's a boxing game. And Jamal, who was Jamal, he was an adopted son of this family of Daru. And Chacha's name is Fatih or Fatih Chacha or Fatty Chacha, but in Urdu it should be Fatih, from Fateh probably. That Chacha is there, and the boy who's learning the game, his name has also been mentioned. These names may be remembered for the sake of some, objective type of testing. The ending of this whole of the chapter is about the overeating by Daru. Perhaps he was thinking that he won't be able to get any more foods or money or free lunches. So that is why he tries to take as much lunch as possible at the house of his uncle. That is why he does a lot of overeating and loads his car with some kind of food as well, and brings that food as well into his house where he's coming back from. This at this moment he's all alone, having no money in his pocket, and gets 500 rupees from his uncle, though he demands 2000. But the uncle is able to give only 500. His stomach is full, but he does not know from where the next coming food is going to come. So that is what the whole chapter is about. Next time we shall be talking about chapter 6 and 7. But so far, let's wrap the whole thing by saying that the chapter talks about the darker side of life of Lahore, where such women also live, who have been forced to, live in those areas, and who have been put to that areas, and who possibly sometimes remain young and become sex workers, and ultimately they become older as well, become useless, but they have the art in order to control the things in their hands and become the owner of those prostitute houses. But in both cases, that is the evil, that is the bad side of society, that's the darker side of society, which needs to be corrected as well. Mohsen Hamid should be praised for this, that he has pointed out such a thing, and many ears and eyes would be rather open because of this. And many of us who blame the prostitute that they are the bad women will be able to correct their notion that who is the one who puts these women into those brothels? It is the man. Very few women would be there who, by their own choice, would do that. More and more women are made by the powerful and corrupt people of the society. This thing Mohsen Hamid has pointed out, and that needs to be considered, that needs to be given a special importance as well. So, feministic point of view, the kind of inequality of rights of women that has also been pointed out, and a model is given in the shape of Mumtaz, that if she can do everything without becoming a bad named woman, it means that all other people can also do the same. So here I close my lecture for you people, and I will be reading some of the questions and I will try to answer them. And if you have further more questions, that may also be uploaded. We shall be talking briefly about those questions. And so I have the latest question developed by Muhammad Wakas. He says, Sir, does Daru also show affection towards Mumtaz? This is not an unusual thing for a man whenever he's in the company of a woman and they can share their cigarettes and they can share their ride as well. a type of intimacy grows, and Daru has has a type of affection for Mumtaz. Yes, he shows not in the beginning, but later on, he tries to show that everything is acceptable to him. He does not reject. So, not rejection of Daru is the kind of acceptance of Daru on the on this relationship. We can't say that he was under the pressure of Mumtaz. No, it was his own choice. He could have refused. He could have denied by saying that she was the friend, she was the wife of the friend. He could have done so, but he did not. So that goes to show that he does have some kind of acceptance on that. So question three is described, answer is described in that way. We have another question by Sami Rana. Yes, Samiullah. Was there any positive side of society at that time? Why Mohsen Hamid depicts the darker aspect of the society? Well, Sami, this is very important question that you have put. Most of the time, it happens that we tell the good sides of the society and the bad side of the society is never pointed out. But Pakistani writers are the writers who would like to point out the things which, with which they can criticize, they can satirize, they can say that the things are going bad. This novel, especially, is the novel about, as I said in the beginning, socio-political evils of Pakistan, the problems of Pakistan, and the street crimes which are taking place in Pakistan. And that is why this novel cannot describe the good things of life in that way as it goes to describe the bad things. In fact, it's the voice of every gentleman who is deprived of the facilities of life, and he begins to look on the society in that way. And when you are deprived of everything at that time, you look at the society not with a pleasant and kind eye, you try to discover the seeds of badness among the other. And that is why in the eye of Daru, the society is most of the time evil because he is the deprived person. Well, there is another question about this is Ayman Zahra, whose question I'm going to read. It says that you used Mumtaz as bold character, but in chapter she herself says that it is complicated to be present with the real name. Why? Yes, here is something, when you write for a newspaper, when you write for a magazine, it is the time you become most famous person. People read you, people get the idea from you, and at that time they would like to contact you, they would like to have a type of relationship and know you very well, and wherever you will go they will recognize you as well. So that is why perhaps Mumtaz is using this type of name. She wanted to hide her original name, perhaps from her family as well, perhaps from other people as well, in order to maintain her privacy. So we can forgive her by thinking that it's more an effort to maintain her privacy, because it is Daru who comes to know that who is going to be Zulfikar Manto. Very few people know about that. Otherwise, she will be exposed, and many people will know her with that area, that kind of profession. So that is why perhaps she wanted to do so, and that is why we may forgive her because she's taking such a name only because she wanted to maintain her privacy. Mahmood said, "Sir, why every writer is being depicting evil and rash aspects of the society?" That's not difficult to understand because if there is no masala, who will read the text of these people? So some kind of things are to be pointed out which may become the voice of everyone. If you ask me the question, if you ask any of your class fellows the question, how is the Pakistani society? Now, if the class fellow is facing certain difficulties, he will definitely point out to the bad things of the society. And moreover, when three or four people sit together, they are always complaining that Pakistan is this bad, Pakistan is that bad. So, as general psychology of the people is there, that we talk about the deficiencies of Pakistan, not about the good things of Pakistan. We never say thank you to God when we are in the company and always point out the bad things. यहाँ तो ये होता है और यूरोप में वो होता है. These are the things we say. So in that way, Mohsen Hamid's novel is the voice of a popular young man. Mohsen Hamid has become representative of all the young people of the society who are not that provided as the rich class is provided. That is why this type of thing is there. Let me find if any other question is there. Big Fish, why he says this. Gulsher says in the same chapter, but Sahab asks Daru to make connections with some big fish. Okay, that's a very good question. You see, Daru is going to get a job. And getting a job for a young man in Pakistani society is very difficult. And so, jobs are also given how much you can oblige someone and how much someone can oblige you. Daru right now is the person nobody is standing behind her. He's not the son of a general, not even the son of an SHO, who is really present and can give benefit to the people. And that is why he says that some big fish is required to get the job. Because population is increasing in great number, jobs are very few, and good jobs are even more few. In order to get that, of course, merit is very much important. But if the big gun is also behind you along with merit, this is one of the corruptions, we can say academic, or we can say financial corruption. The part of this corruption goes on, and because of this, the meritorial people may not find a job, but the big gun or big fish may be able to find the job. That is why this thing is said here. Is that okay, Mr. Gulsher? And I am looking for some other question as well, but I don't find. In the beginning, there was question number 2 by Mr. Vakas, sir. Can we say that this novel also shows class difference between poor and, of course, there's a big difference when you talk of Lahore. There is a Lahore which is modern, neat, and clean. There is a Lahore which is old Lahore with small streets, no neatness at all. Same type of people live there. Very clear cut division is there. And that also goes to describe different parts of Lahore. And as a result, parts are different, differences are there, classes are also different. And let me see if there is question number 1 by Mr. Vakas as well. Sir, what was the reaction of Uzi when Mumtaz shows her affection towards Daru? Uzi is shown to be a very simpleton type of person. He takes it just as one would take that a wife is with him like Devar is there or some Jade is there, and so the husband says that it's a sisterly relationship, or perhaps he's trusting his wife as well. He's trusting his friend as well. But more so, I would say it's a type of situation where carelessness has entered into the relationships, that Uzi may not care where his wife is going and what she's talking about, with whom she's talking. And on the other hand, this Daru is the childhood friend, schoolhood friend, and having family relations with him, and that is why he has a blind trust on her. And that's why perhaps he may not be taking it in a bad way, he may be taking it in a very positive way. Okay, so these are the questions these people have asked me, and I have tried to answer some of the questions remaining. We can discuss on our assignment as well. I hope the time in order to close the whole thing has come. Well, I want you people to give your impressions about this lecture, what you have understood. That impression may be given by you people on my Facebook channel as well. And if you be kind enough to go for, Facebook, there you can put your comments so that people may come to know what is happening, what type of learning you are getting, or how the closure of institution has made the educational process deficient, and how we are making constant efforts in order to improve the whole situation. Let me talk to you people one thing here, that universities are planning. One of the university has established a website on which the teachers will be uploading materials, and they may be making assignments, and teacher may be checking it, reverting it. LMS and SMS systems are being introduced by most of the universities. But our college does not have these resources, and perhaps the government HED may not be asking us to do such things online. So if I am as an individual making efforts, these efforts should not go unnoticed. So that is why I always ask you people to upload the comments, or to tell something on Facebook as well what you have learned, so that it may be taken positively. Some of the people may be taking these lectures as negative also, that perhaps Dr. Zia is going to establish his authority on the students, or he's trying to become superior to the other professors. Let us remove this impression. That should be taken as an effort to compose the syllabus, or to control the contents of syllabus within the time. Of course, when the college opens, we shall have our classes and try to cover all the syllabus whichever has been given. But so far, my students should not remain idle, should not forget that there is a lesson to be understood on some novel, and that's to be given by Dr. Zia. That should be there, and that is why I'm making extraordinary efforts. It's not an easy thing, but still I'm doing for you people. That should not go unrecognized. This is one of my opinion. You people can differ with this opinion as well, but still, this is what I seek from you, what I want from you. I'm asking you to WhatsApp me the last assignment, and here also, I'm closing with one question for you people, that write a detailed note on the visit, write a detailed note on the visit of Mumtaz to the red light area. Why she visited, what's the reason behind that, what she wanted to do, Or even you can take the question by saying that, okay, who is Zulfikar Manto and what is happening in the novel with respect to Zulfikar Manto. But more so, it will be good if you answer the question why Mumtaz makes a visit to this red light area, what is the purpose, what she wants to do, and what type of character of Mumtaz comes forward when we see her doing all these things. So this question and answer to this question by quoting references from the text may be uploaded to me through WhatsApp or through email as well. And that would be a very good thing if we do so, because that will make us maintain the record of all these things, that what is the response of the students and what they're doing. Okay, so that's what I wanted to say to you people. Thank you very much, all of you. um, yes, you need to write whatever the tears may come you out of your eyes, or whatever sadness come. The answer is to be written, because the communication is always two-way process. Communication is never complete with one-way process. I have done my job. It's now your job, and I am conditioning it with the next lecture is conditioned unless you show me the kind of work you have done on both of these two lectures. I will not be proposing the third lecture. So go ahead, first of all, upload me via WhatsApp or email what the notes you have prepared, what the answer to the questions you have prepared. Only then we shall go for the next assignment. So thank you very much, all of you. It has been a very wonderful session, perhaps on my side, but it will be wonderful on your side when you upload your comments on Facebook or on YouTube. Thank you very much. It's closing now. Bye bye. That's it.